This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. Between two-factor authentication, strong passwords, and a VPN, you try to be in control of how your info is protected. But many other places also have it, and they might not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity is stolen, they'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit lifelock.com/podcast for 40% off. Terms apply.
Police responded to a 911 call.
Dramatic video of gun insanity in the Bronx.
Police releasing a new video of a person that they are still trying to track down.
Defund the police is not the answer.
Many people surveyed said they just don't feel safe in the city.
It's a shooting outside of a store.
This is Bo Dietl's One Tough Podcast.
Police this morning are searching for the person who turned this Harlem platform to a crime scene.
A Red Apple Media Podcast Network production. Now, here's Bo Dietl.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Bo Dietl's One Tough Podcast. Today we have a great episode exposing massive corruption, government fraud, and the big names taking action to clean up this mess. There's a war on waste, and at the front lines we've got President Trump, Elon Musk, and Doge team exposing billions of corruption at every level, while the swamp fights tooth and nail to keep stealing your money. All right, everyone, let's get right into it. Well, first of all, today in New York City, guess what? We don't have any more of a price congestion. President Trump today said, no price. Sorry, Governor, stick it up your ass. We don't have price congestion now. Trump said no federal money. And all of a sudden now President Trump's given Elon Musk the green light to tear through government waste. And it could save taxpayers over $1 trillion a year. Musk's Doge is exposing fraud like never before. And Trump is loving it. He's only in office 3 weeks. It seems like it's a year. He just authorized 45 more investigators to join the team. And their next targets, the waste in the Pentagon, the FBI, and the CIA. USAID, this fraudulent group, was the first on the chopping block, with Musk uncovering billions wasted on his bullshit DEI programs, transgender events, and media handouts. Now Trump wants to shut it down and fold any legitimate programs to where it belongs, into the Department of State. The last numbers don't lie. Last year, the government spent $7 trillion, but they only brought in $5.2 trillion. That's a $1.9 trillion hole. And Musk's Doge team is proving exactly where the money is getting wasted. Elon Musk and Doge dropped the hammer on DEI waste, slashing $370 million in taxpayer funding nonsense from the Department of Education, like we really need that. And this is just the beginning. In just 48 hours, Doge wiped out 70 DEI grant money that was being used to train teachers, get this, to confront their biases and help develop anti-racist mindsets. I mean, can you get that? Anti-mindset race? I can't even say it. Basically, another cash grab disguised as education. Also, on top of it, what President Trump wants to do is bring the education to the states where it should be, instead of all this money being wasted. And it doesn't stop there. They shut down another 89 Department of Investigation contracts, totaling, listen to this one, $881 million. Over $100 million of that going straight to this bullshit DEI programs. They even cut a $9.7 million grant to this commie school there, UC Berkeley, that was funding some Cambodian youth enterprise initiative. What does that even mean? Now the education department is cracking down nationwide, giving every state 14 days to stop this DEI policies or risk losing federal funding. What a great idea. This is the biggest move against DEI in education we've ever seen. Now let's talk about one of the biggest financial disasters in recent history, Biden's migrant spending disaster. After Biden took office, he pumped millions of dollars into FEMA under the American Rescue Plan, creating the biggest cash giveaway in history. And the criminals lined up with their hands out with these no RFPs. Just give the money, just throw the money, just give. Here's a little breakdown. $641 million was funneled through FEMA's Shelter and Services program. I love this one. With little or no oversight. Just give the money away. One example is the $59 million that went straight to luxury hotels in my city here, New York City, to house illegal migrants. Oh, they couldn't put them in dormitories. They have to have first-class hotel rooms. Mayor Eric Adams is begging for more money, while $7 billion went puff up in smoke. It mysteriously vanished into the city's broken migrant programs. That's a whole nother story. There's a lot of money in there, and there was no RFPs. I want to know where it went. And guess who just caught them red-handed? Elon Musk Doge team. And they're out there. Musk has openly threatened to claw back the $59 million FEMA sent to New York City for these migrant hotels. It's exposing this as another scam bleeding the American taxpayer dry. Meanwhile, President Trump is fully backing Musk's mission, making it clear this is a fraud train. He is going to make it come to a full stop. My friend Gary Tisler, most recent article uncovers one of the biggest scams in New York City and New York State, the MTA. Under Joe Biden, federal funding for the MTA ballooned by nearly $4 billion. Yet, they still force price congestion on the drivers for hard-working New Yorkers to cover their bloated payrolls and corrupt contracts. But remember what I said in the beginning. President Trump announced today, no price, no control, no price congestion control. We can drive in and out of Manhattan without paying a damn toll. Thank you, President Trump. You tell that governor we ain't playing that game. Otherwise, you ain't getting no federal money. It has to be approved by the Department of Transportation. Let's look at the real numbers with the MTA. The Long Island Railroad Grand Central Extension was supposed to cost $3.4 billion. This is way back in 2009. And when it finally opened up in 2023, guess what? $13 billion for just 2 miles of track. The 7-train extension to Hudson Yards became the most expensive subway track in the world. Get this, $2.5 billion per mile. They blew $31 million just to build an extra staircase at the Times Square station. They wasted $4 billion at the Fulton Street Transit Hub. Now it's all filled with empty stores and crime. The Doge boys could audit every single dollar and find out who's getting rich off these contracts and put the crooks on notice. Let me tell you something. I've been noticing some stuff. A lot of people have a lot of money. A lot of people, I go down to Florida, they're buying these $10 million apartments and this, and then we do a little history on them. A lot of people have involvements with all these no-bid contracts. This is where President Trump is going to get it. We're going to get you. The waste doesn't stop with transit. New York's education budget has exploded from $6.3 billion in 1990. Guess what it is now? It's $38 billion today. Remember, that's a 600% increase, while student enrollment has dropped by nearly 200,000. New York City schools spend, get this, $36,000 per student, triple the national average. Yet, the reading and math scores are still below the national average. Meanwhile, Catholic schools spend just about $16,000 per student, and charter schools spend $17,500. Yet, they all outperform our public schools in math and reading. Why? I'll give you. The United Federation of Teachers, UFT, the teachers union, controls the politician and protects corruption. New York City, they still have these, I remember these rubber rooms. That means if a teacher sexually abuses somebody or rapes somebody, they put them in a rubber room for teachers. They ban from the classroom, and they sit around collecting full salaries instead of getting them fired. Billions are wasted on failed programs like the new reading program that isn't helping students, and it actually lowered their test scores. Musk Doge boys could blow the lid off this spending and force the city to justify every dollar. Guess what, New York? New York City's budget is now, it ballooned from $100 billion, and now under my friend Mayor Adams, guess what it is? It's $112 billion. That's from 100 to 112. It's larger than the entire budget of Florida, which has 3 times the population. Yet, Florida's roads are better, their taxes are lower, and their crime is under control. New York City's hemorrhaging money. Big Bird de Blasio's wife lost $100 billion on mental health initiative called Thrive New York City, and no one could find where'd that money go. 500,000 people have taken off to Florida, Texas, taking their tax dollars with them. Wall Street firms have moved $1 trillion to lower tax state. And what do city's officials do? Raise taxes and beg for federal bailouts. It's stopping with President Trump. President Trump and Musk want real audits, real accountability, and real consequences for waste and fraud. Doge could expose it all. Elon Musk's Doge team is about to get full access to the IRS tax database. This is huge. And let me just remind people, we had this thing when we had the epidemic there, and all this money was given out. So much fraud. And you know what? The Doge team should get there, roll up their sleeves, and claw back. I know a billionaire that got a $10 million a check for this when we had the pandemic. A Doge software engineer, Galvin Klinger, is getting credentials to dig into the system that tracks tax returns, something that's never been done before. What's the goal? Like it's all about President Donald Trump. The goal is to expose fraud, waste, and corruption buried deep in our tax code. According to the IRS, they miss out on $540 billion every year, a massive chunk of the federal deficit. Doge is looking to fix that, potentially cutting over $1 trillion in waste. Just think about what I'm just saying. If they can find this $1 trillion in waste, instead of us going down and losing and getting more of a debt for this country, we can start making the thing balance out. And you better believe the Democrats who are robbing and ripping are sweating. Reports say Doge might target Democratic pet projects like green energy, tax breaks, and the carried interest loophole, the same loophole Trump wants gone to help fund his plan to eliminate taxes on tips, overtime, and Social Security benefits. We shouldn't be paying taxes on it. Of course, the left is panicking. And one more thing. We have this Schmuck Schumer, Senator Schmuck Schumer, my friend. This jerk-off has never said a word about anything. He sits there with his plugs in his head and says nothing. They are shaking and baking now, and all we're doing is exposing waste and corruption. The same people who gave the IRS $80 billion, remember this one, to hire 87,000 new IRS agents. You know what to go after? To go after middle-class Americans are now screaming about government overreach. Funny how that works. You wanted it for IRS agents to shake and bake middle-class people, but it's no good now. Tough bananas. In New York City, this is a mayor election year, and the question is simple. Will New York City's demand a real change, or will we get more of the same? Here we go back. Senator Chuck E. Cheese Schumer Hakeem Jeffries and Letitia James are fighting to keep Musk's orders out of where they're stealing. Let's look at some of these Democrat politicians. They go in there and they're making $180,000 a year, and they're all worth $30, $40, $100 million. Ooh, where does that all come from? The media ignores the real issues, focus on who has the most campaign money. That's the problem. No one is asking why this city's budget has bloated to $112 billion, why education is failing, crime is rising, and why corruption is rampant, or why so many people leaving. If Musk Doge boys step in, the entire game could change.
All right, listen up. The only gift that any dad wants on Father's Day is Goldbelly. Goldbelly ships the most iconic foods from the best restaurants across the country straight to his door for free. Let him kick back and chow down on award-winning barbecue from Texas, epic deep dish pizza from Chicago, or colossal pastrami sandwiches from New York. Make Dad feel like an absolute legend this Father's Day and go to goldbelly.com to get 20% off your first order with promo code DAD. That's 20% off at goldbelly.com, code DAD.
Hey besties, listen up. I have a secret to tell you. LinkedIn now has improved the job search experience for nurses. Search by your specialty, the shifts you want to work, and the salary that you want to make. With so many employers hiring on LinkedIn, finding the perfect job is even more simplified. So don't spend months searching. Go to linkedin.com/nurses and find out why in the past year, more than 1.5 million nurses have used LinkedIn to search for their next role. That's linkedin.com/nurses.
Shopping is hard, right? But I found a better way. Stitch Fix online personal styling makes it easy. I just give my stylist my size, style, and budget preferences. I order boxes when I want and how I want. No subscription required. And he sends just for me pieces, plus outfit recommendations and styling tips. I keep what works and send back the rest. It's so easy. Make style easy. Get started today at stitchfix.com/Spotify. That's stitchfix.com/Spotify.
The rural way of life is about making everyone feel at home. Tractor Supply chose advanced 5G solutions from T-Mobile for Business to transform intelligent customer service. Together, we put the power of AI to work across 2,200 stores, keeping things running seamlessly inside, curbside, and countryside. This is elevated customer experience. This is Tractor Supply with T-Mobile for Business. Take your business further at T-Mobile.com/now.
Speaking of exposing corruption, Trump is cleaning house. After stripping Biden's classified access, good thing on that one, he's now revoking Anthony Blinken, the fool, his clearance for orchestrating the phony letter about the 51 intelligence people, intelligence against Donald Trump, and the fake Hunter Biden laptop disinformation campaign. Next up, Letitia James and Alvin Bragg. These are two weaponized officers that continued to go after President Trump, and now they're losing federal access, including courthouses and law enforcement facilities. Also on the chopping block is this other jerk-off, Jake Sullivan, Biden's national security advisor, Clinton's Russia hoax crony, Lisa Monaco, Biden's deputy attorney general, key in the Department of Justice investigation for the January 6th response. Hey, this other jerk-off, Andrew Weissman, Mueller's lead prosecutor, and the Russiagate investigator, Mark Zaid, lawyer behind Trump's first impeachment, and Norm Elson, Democrats' impeachment strategist. Bye-bye, dickheads. You will get no more information. This isn't just a slap in the face. It's shutting down the thing that we fear most, the deep state that has accessed our government. They are embedded. We got to get rid of them. They can't operate in the shadows anymore. These people don't know where to run or where to hide. President Trump is coming after all of you now. Next, we're dividing into how Trump is taking action to shut down New York City's latest scams. Let's start with the price congestion. That's finished, like I just told you. Coming over here, I just learned Trump put a stop to that one, and that was all about grabbing money. They claim it's about reducing traffic. It's not about reducing traffic. What it's about is letting these bikes now, these illegal bikes, they claim that it's about reducing traffic, but Trump's calling it like it is. Traffic isn't down because the plan worked. It's down because no one's coming into the city. People aren't driving because businesses are closing. Crime is skyrocketing, and the city's becoming unlivable. People are moving out. So what's Trump going to do? He's withholding the federal funds, and this scam is scrapped right today. I'm really happy to say it. Trump said no, no, no to this price congestion. He's making sure that New York City can't keep robbing people under the guise of reducing congestion. And next, President Trump said bike lanes. They made it impossible for emergency vehicles to get through, and they become a danger to pedestrians. E-bikes and mopeds. Now 3rd Avenue. You can fly down there with a car. You got to go 20 miles an hour. But these friggin' e-bikes can go 40 miles an hour and hit people and kill them. These are criminals using them for quick getaways. These e-bikes and pedestrian injuries are skyrocketing. President Trump put it simply, get rid of them. They're dangerous, and people are getting hit right and left. And he's right. Just look at the numbers. Groups like NEC, E-Vehicle Safety Alliance, which I know about, are calling for regulation. We should put license plates on these bikes and make them get licensed so we know who the hell they are, and confiscate them if they're not registered. You know what? Mayor Adams does nothing. He refuses to act. He just makes believe it's not there. We have another genius move from the New York City's Department of Transportation. Like I said, slowing down the traffic lights on 3rd Avenue from 25 miles per hour to 15 miles per hour. Oh, that's good. But guess, you're not stopping these bikes. They're going 40 miles an hour. And now all of a sudden, there's a move on that is now something that is going on. Meanwhile, the e-bikes, half of them, again, I tell you, they're unregistered. They're running red lights, causing chaos. They go on sidewalks. There's no enforcement. There's no accountability. Even the city council member, Julie Menon, says she wasn't told about this mess until she read it in the New York Times. No community input, no warning, just another decision shoved down our throats. The Department of Transportation calls it a minor adjustment. Yeah, really? Tell that to the cab drivers who now have to sit in gridlock instead of making a living. Now, let's talk about sanctuary cities. New York has become a haven for criminals because of its sanctuary laws that block ICE from deporting dangerous aliens. And guess what? President Trump's Department of Justice is suing to put an end to it. Illinois and Chicago are already in his crosshairs, and New York is next. Sanctuary cities are sanctuaries for criminals. He's not wrong. The Department of Justice lawsuit is proof that this administration is cracking down. My friend Tom Holman, the border czar, called it a system designed to protect illegal criminals while leaving Americans vulnerable. Here's a perfect example of New York City. And I know Holman met with the mayor, but all of a sudden I picked up the paper today, and they're preventing ICE from doing their job. 2 repeated members of the violent Venezuelan gang, Tren Ugato, whatever the hell their name is, they got busted on a drug run and a gun raid. And then what? They walk out the door, no bail, no consequence, and they're not being turned over. And you know what, Holman? He's not doing what he's telling you he's doing. They're not being turned over to ICE. Let's break this down. NYPD raids at an auto shop in Queens, finds a stash of cocaine, a Glock gun, and thousands in cash. They arrest these 2 gangbangers, and they're tied to a cartel living operation. They're illegal in this country. Charges are then downgraded, possession of an air gun. Are you kidding me? The DA's office says their hands are tied because New York's soft on crime bail reform. No, they're not tied. These are illegal people committing felonies in our city. They should be turned over to ICE. And you know what, Holman? You got to come back and shake up this mayor and let him understand. He's not doing his job. And the police department now is being handcuffed. And they're running criminal enterprises from our city. And now they're right there, right back out there. Law enforcement sources are furious, and they should be. They risk their lives making these arrests only for the system to let these criminals walk. And let's not forget these guys were not even supposed to be here. Felony 1, You crossed the border illegally, and you're in here now. Instead of being deported, they got a free pass to come up and set up shop and doing criminal enterprise in our neighborhood. Meanwhile, back in New York City, the Adams administration is caught red-handed in another scandal, handing out city contracts to a foreign firm. We have the heliport on the east side with a history of bribery. Seika Aviation, the longtime operator of the downtown heliport, is calling for a criminal investigation after Adams awarded the contract to a foreign company with ties to corruption in multiple countries. Who's doing the background on these, Senator? Mayor? Who's doing the backgrounds? Bo Dietl Associates does good backgrounds. I don't know why you don't use us. We would do due diligence and find out that this is a criminal element. Once again, who in City Hall knew about this? I didn't know nothing about it. That's what they always do. And let me tell you this, Mayor Eric Adams. He's officially off the rails. In a desperate attempt to defend himself, he just invoked Mein Kampf. I watched this. He was in the church on Sunday at a speech. Everybody's cheering him. He said he's the victim. He's this. He made a reference to the Hitler book Mein Kampf while trying to play the victim. Instead of answering for the millions in bribes and illegal campaign donations he allegedly took, he's rambling on about protesters, taking cheap shots at his political rival, and dragging the great one, Martin Luther King, into his mess. At the church rally, Adams mocked his potential replacement, Jumaane Williams, saying he wakes up at noon and does nothing. He even claimed he couldn't step down because Williams would take over. Real leadership there, huh? He's got some real serious problems with his Turkish consulate deal and all the illegal donations. And while President Trump administration moved to drop the case, I don't think it's over with. I think that President Trump's a very smart man, and I think he understands that this is not all that's there. And I think there's more coming. Let's just face one thing. Just this last few days, 4 of Adams' top deputy mayors just quit. 30 Democratic local leaders have already called for him to resign. Even City Council Speaker Adrian Adams said he's lost the confidence of New Yorkers. He needs to step aside. But Adams, he said he's on a mission from God. This personally pisses me off. That's the line I used back in 1981 when I was with my partner, and we locked up the 2 guys that raped a nun in a convent. And it was labeled as the most heinous crime in New York history. It occurred in an East Harlem church, Our Lady of Mount Carmel. And the 2 scumbags went through the roof. They raped the sodomites, carved 27 crosses into it. And it was labeled by then Mayor Koch as the most heinous crime in New York history. That was when I made the headline statement to a reporter. I had just watched the John Belushi movie, and they said that there were 2 cops on a mission from God. My partner, Tom Collar, and I arrested 1 in Chicago, 1 in New York. And I said, listen to me. Tommy and I were on a mission from God. Don't use my line, Mr. Mayor. That's my line, okay? And standing in a church, you're on no mission from God. If you're on a mission from God, you know what you would do, Mr. Mayor? Go away. It's over. And finally, President Trump just ordered the Secret Service to hand over everything on the 2 would-be assassins who came after him. One had 6 cell phones. The other had foreign apps. Why did Biden's Department of Justice hold back key details? Trump isn't letting go of this. The bottom line, we are watching the biggest shakeup in government history. Only 3 weeks into it, Elon Musk and Doge are exposing corruption at every level. Trump is taking the fight directly to the deep state. The swamp is scrambling, and we are winning. This is what real leadership looks like. America First is back. Thank you for tuning in to Bo Dietl's One Tough Podcast. Subscribe, like, and share it with all your friends. Turn to my podcast, and I'll tell you the truth. Till next week, thank you.